Do you feel free to share your personal story with the world? I can't see you out there, so you need to shout out loud for me. Do you feel free? Yes? No? Yes. All right. I hear some brave people out there. That's great. Tell you the truth, though, I haven't always felt so free. If people learn about my blindness before they even meet me, will they think of me as able or just disabled? I used to shy away from my personal story, whereas now I embrace it. I speak about my journey as a writer and amateur skier who just happens to be blind. Three life lessons empowered me to do this. First, people are going to tell stories about us whether we like it or not. So we might as well direct or influence the stories they tell. Picture this. I was all smiles, ready to accept an award from a nonprofit I cared about. I thought, maybe they're going to talk about my writing ability. Maybe they're going to talk about some of the other work I did with them. The lady on stage starts telling my story, and it goes something like this. Krista's blind. She always shows up, even though she has to take the bus everywhere. She's amazing. Oh, amazing, amazing. Well, at that point, stopped hearing the rest of the story she told me. I wanted to sink into the floor. You know why? Because my blindness was on that stage and not me. Not Krista Giannak, the writer, the creative. Not my story. Maybe she just wanted to inspire the world to show up more in their lives, and that's a wonderful sentiment. And yet, I felt invisible in that moment. Now, though, I look back with gratitude. That moment empowered me to feel the consequences of letting others craft my story and to choose a different path. You might wonder, why was I hiding my own story all these years, even while I wrote about other people's stories professionally? Here's the thing. When we meet people with disabilities, we often feel amazed. And that sounds like a wonderful word, doesn't it? At the same time, amazing can come with a dark side. Low expectations, self-fulfilling prophecies, and even hesitation to hire someone with a disability. Because we don't even know if anyone with that disability can possibly do the job. I wish everyone knew that people with disabilities, people like me, can achieve so much more than society leads us to believe, as long as we're willing to think outside the typical boxes to get it done. I wish we all grew up learning that people with disabilities are as capable as anyone else of achieving the impossible. Hey, that's the second thing I learned. Find the impossible people. Sounds like a superhero, right? Nope. When you think something's impossible, find somebody who's already done it. Because that's when your world just might change. 11 years ago, my martial arts sensei introduced me to my impossible people. The ones running a ski weekend for the blind and visually impaired at Vermont Adaptive Ski Sports, with the United States Association of Blind Athletes. I was like, wow. Are they crazy? Is the term blind skiing just an oxymoron? And then I thought, gosh, I'm so curious though. So I picked up the phone and asked a million questions. Am I going to get hurt? What's your training and experience like? Does everyone come back in one piece? Oh, and by the way, am I going to get hurt? The director at Vermont Adaptive answered my questions, and then he asked me, why don't you come out on the snow? Get a taste, see if it's for you. Yeah, maybe I need to be in the environment first to see if I can and should face my fear. Fear is so important. We all have it, and we all face it. What do we do to face fears? That's the third thing I discovered. Tiny steps lead to giant leaps. Everything is a step. From picking up that phone in the first place, booking the trip, getting on the plane, and meeting those warm, wonderful, welcoming volunteers. I learned to walk in those clumsy ski boots, and boy, were they painful. I learned to balance on the skis by feel and to follow the instructions of my ski guides. It was truly a team effort as my ski instructor and guides literally forged a safe path for us across the slopes. I'll never forget that first day, the peppery snow on my face, the swoosh of the skiers going by, the cheery voices all around, the feel of the fall line under my feet, and oh my goodness, I was so scared. What have I gotten myself into? And yet, at the same time, the momentum of all those small steps propelled me forward to realize that, wait a minute, this blind skiing thing, it's possible, even for me. I'll never forget that first time when they gave me this little push down that little hill. I was skiing, I was gliding, it was like magic, I was flying, and then I was falling. I got back up again to ski some more. Because I found my impossible people, because I took those tiny steps and that giant leap, I was able to flip the script on my blindness. No longer did it need to linger in the background as part of my untold story. Why should it? I faced fear and overcame a challenge that inspired me. That is key. Other people feel amazed, but I needed to amaze myself. I also needed a strong story that was relatable. Sure, you all haven't skied with your eyes closed, but everyone's faced fear. Everyone's been afraid. Who out there has faced fear? Yeah. We wouldn't be human without facing our fears. If I hadn't found my impossible people, faced my fear, I wouldn't be on this stage today. This experience has been so different than any other speaking I've ever done in my life. When I found out about this wonderful opportunity to tell this story on the stage, right here in person, I was so nervous. And yet, if I could flip the script on my blindness, then what else could I achieve that I previously thought was impossible? Thank you.